If you're wondering where your dog gets such a booming voice from, this video's for you. Protect your ears because you're about to hear the Top 10 Loudest Dog Barks. Number 10, Yorkshire Terrier. The Yorkies are famous for being quite vocal, meaning they bark a lot. Although these dogs are adorable, many potential owners choose not to adopt them due to the bad reputation they've earned. However, don't take the constant barking for granted, because raising will play an important role. Historically, this breed was trained to bark whenever it finds an object that sparks its interest. That's why the bark is particularly high-pitched, loud, and attracts a lot of attention. Yorkies are very sensitive and emotional. They'll bark when they're bored, upset, or happy, and when they want your attention. To prevent them from barking all the time, you have to train them so that they don't get too excited and thus avoid their tendency to be nervous. They also have to be exercised continuously because they have a lot of energy, and if they don't get it out in a healthy way, they'll project it as a bark.
This still comes down to the point where we have enough accumulation to plow as we're plowing.
Number 9. Redbone Coonhound. The Redbone Coonhounds are known for their loud bark that is directly linked to their origin. This breed resulted from several crossbreedings to get a hunting dog. The first Redbone Coonhounds hunted in all types of land and swam without any problem. Also, they're courageous enough to take on larger animals. At home, you'll see how they use their acute sense of smell to seek out and chase small, hairy animals such as rabbits, squirrels, and even cats. So be careful when adopting them because you'll have to protect your other pets too. As they're able to travel long distances in search of their prey, their bark is loud, deep, and powerful to alert their owners that they found what they were looking for. Plus, they usually show their large teeth, so they can be quite intimidating for intruders in their territory. This dog requires training to stop barking at people passing by outside its owner's house and to stop barking at non-threatening visitors with the command. In addition to the territorial barking, they can also bark out of excitement, attention, illness, or frustration. Number 8. Dachshunds. The Dachshund is another breed that emerged especially for hunting, so its bark is strong and powerful, even more so if you take into account its small size. Dachshund's ancestors were bred to hunt badgers. In fact, this breed's name means badger dog in German. Today's Dachshunds keep the energy and excitement of their ancestors. It's necessary to train them to reduce the frequency of their bark. These dogs may bark a lot out of anxiety or excitement, to get attention, as a warning when someone invades their territory, or in response to other dogs' bark. Other reasons are the changes in the environment, so you need to be patient with them, especially if you recently moved. It's recommended to reduce what motivates them to bark excessively, to establish commands to make them quiet, and to take them out for a walk at least 30 minutes a day. Number 7. Basset Hound. These dogs are part of the bloodhound group, although their long body and short legs make them less active than their relatives. However, what they share with their cousins is their great vocal qualities, which can be very annoying if they aren't trained early. As they're very stubborn, it'll be nearly impossible to change their noisy behavior if you delay the training. Just like the bloodhounds, they have a bark that is more like a howl they can use for long periods of time and can be heard from miles away. They'll howl more whether they're bored or alone, so it's better if you take them out to do exercise regularly. Number 6. Beagles. This dog is known as one of the loudest dogs in the world. Its bark can be heard several miles away. This is due to the fact Beagles were originally hunting dogs, so being noisy is part of their behavior. Their name is believed to have come from the French word bugler, which means roar, and would do justice to their impressively loud bark and howl. Their great sense of smell, athleticism, and endurance are other characteristics derived from their origin. There are several types of barks a beagle can use, such as the standard bark when there's someone at the door of the house, the howls used in hunting to alert of an interesting scent, or sadder howls used when they're indeed melancholy or bored. To avoid the latter, you have to keep them interested in different incentives since, due to their great energy, they tend to get impatient easily. They'll also howl if they hear another dog howling. Number 5. Siberian Husky. The Siberian Husky is one of the most vocal dogs of all. It loves to engage in conversations and pretend to talk to its owner. These dogs emit a wide variety of sounds, and some even try to mimic words.
I love Granny.
They hardly ever bark, but when they do so, they're quite noisy. Nothing compared to their howling, though. They prefer to howl because they're descended from wild wolves that were domesticated by native Arctic tribes to be used inshores. Since barking is even more difficult for Siberian Husky puppies, you'll notice that they begin to howl very early, especially when they hear a vehicle with a siren passing by. Siberian Huskies howling can be heard within a 9-mile radius. Terrific! Number 4, Rottweiler. Rottweilers don't bark much, they have more of a wait-and-see attitude before they make a sound. But when they do so, they have tremendous power. They're one of the dogs with the loudest bark in the world at 103.1 decibels. This isn't surprising if we're talking about a dog that weighs between 70 and 130 pounds. Due to the fact that they're cautious when barking and almost never vocalize anything when they're happy, you must take this bark very seriously because they're likely to want to tell you something important. Maybe there's a health condition affecting them, or the boredom and excess energy are annoying them greatly, or there's an actual threat nearby. In the latter case, the volume of their bark will go up as the so-called threat approaches. If you have a Rottweiler, don't let its vocalizations pass, because they're all meant to warn against something. Number 3, German Shepherd. We got to the top 3 of the list, so it's time to introduce you to Daz, a German Shepherd who, in 2009, won a Guinness World Record for the loudest bark with none other than 108 decibels. That's louder than a drill. German Shepherds are very useful as guard dogs and in police and military work. Their intense bark is enough to scare off criminals and comes with a strong bite force of up to 238 psi. Well, in this case, I don't think barking dogs seldom bite, don't they? Their intense bark is also useful to alert human sentinels guarding ports, prisons, or nature reserves. They're so smart, they're easy to train, which is why they're highly recommended for first-time owners who have enough space to keep them. Number 2, Golden Retriever. Golden Retrievers have the second loudest bark of all at none other than 113 decibels. That's 10 decibels more than a jackhammer and is surprisingly as powerful as a lion's roar. We got this information thanks to the distinguished Golden Retriever Charlie, who in 2012 won the Guinness World Record for the loudest bark, leaving Daz in second place. Golden Retriever's bark is effective for hunting, search and rescue operations, as well as family protection. Also, they're usually quite friendly with children and very smart, making their training easier to establish. However, they don't do well on their own, so they may bark excessively as a consequence, and this isn't comfortable at all since they can be heard from miles away. That's why it's recommended that people who spend a lot of time away from home keep from adopting a Golden Retriever. You're about to hear the number 1. Cover your ears, because this bark is almost as loud as a military plane taking off. Number 1, Doberman. YouTuber Joey Ferris measured his Doberman's bark and it reached an astonishing 128.7 decibels, the same as a great howler monkey, but louder than the sound of a chainsaw and almost as loud as a military jet taking off. So this makes it the most powerful bark on the list. The Doberman breed was trained in protection work, resulting in these dogs barking more than other breeds. They're known to protect their loved ones with their powerful bark, either scaring an intruder or alerting humans. They may also bark out of boredom as a means of calming anxiety. Dobermans begin to bark frequently when they're between 10 and 12 weeks old, but this bark is higher pitched and nothing like the warning bark of an adult Doberman. Their maximum potency is shown when they're between a year and a year and a half old. An average Doberman will have a short barking session at least once a day for 30 seconds. However, some owners will experience no barking episodes per day, while others will experience many long sessions. The good thing is that they're also easy to train from a very young age. These were the 10 dogs with the loudest bark in the world. Have you seen other videos on the channel yet? There's a lot of pet content, so subscribe and turn on notifications, and see you in the next video.